Again, I'm not pissed off at the guys, but you just got to make them aware that that's not right.
The New York Jets star wide receiver Davante Adams is already ripping into his teammates after the devastating loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This could be a good or a bad thing. Let's break this down. There is also some other odd Jets news, which is Robert Saleh, the former head coach who was recently fired. A lot of people think that Aaron Rodgers pushed him out. Well, he's getting a little bit of revenge on Aaron Rodgers here. Robert Saleh is joining the Green Bay Packers and his good friend Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Packers, in a fluid role. Remember, Aaron Rodgers did not get along with the offensive-minded head coach Matt LaFleur on his way out. We've seen videos of him yelling at this guy, and that is part of the reason why he got pushed out in a way and sort of wanted to get pushed out to the New York Jets. You can see we already have video of Robert Saleh standing there at practice for the Green Bay Packers. Who knows what could happen? Maybe this guy could be their new defensive coordinator. We know he was very successful with the San Francisco 49ers. But oddly enough, according to Matt LaFleur, Robert Saleh is helping the team on the offensive side of the football. He's consulting and he'll be around, and it's a fluid role. So these guys have been good friends, and this really got me thinking, man, the fact that they have always been good friends way before Aaron Rodgers joined the New York Jets, that just has me thinking maybe Robert Saleh was told a little bit by Matt LaFleur about how Aaron Rodgers is, what his personality is like, how he can be difficult to work with, and maybe that's part of the reason why it was never going to work out with Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers in the first place. It's crazy how the problems keep stacking up for the New York Jets. Now Aaron Rodgers is apparently dealing with a hamstring injury, and he has both of his knees injured. We've seen him take some pretty bad hits, most notably against the Minnesota Vikings, and now it's looking like this guy might not even be healthy for the rest of the season. He's still going to be able to play this week, but the Jets are already at 2-5, and now you got the starting quarterback not at 100%. And let me just first say, I am not an Aaron Rodgers hater. I know we've brought up some stories here. These are just the facts. I'm actually a big-time Aaron Rodgers fan, and I actually like some of his views, his alternative views where he does his own research. I actually appreciate some of his insights and the fact that he's willing to speak out about some of that stuff. So I am rooting for Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I want them to be successful. I am a big fan of Davante Adams. He's played college football at my hometown of Fresno State, but I keep seeing all these problems stack up. I'm seeing Robert Saleh not get along with this guy. You got to point it out. Now he's kind of marinating in it with Matt LaFleur, and this has been the story ever since the debut on primetime against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Davante Adams did not have the spectacular storybook debut that we all expected he might, and instead it was sort of awkward. It was frustrating. They did move the ball at times, but at the end of the day, they got an L during a much-needed win. The people who are the most upset right now are New York Jets fans. Jets fans are upset about the fact that ticket prices continue to increase. They are going to increase next year after they already increased by 30% for this season. So Jets fans are like, hey, you're increasing the price of these games, yet we're not winning any more games than we did before Aaron Rodgers. So the New York Jets and Rodgers really have to save the season this week against the New England Patriots. And Davante Adams seems like he is going to do anything he can, and he's stepping out of his comfort zone to make sure that the New York Jets are successful. Aaron Rodgers was asked about the post-game speech that Davante Adams gave to the team after that L against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was pretty crazy.
I thought it was the realest speech I'd ever heard in a locker room in 20 years.
Is that surprising? You know very
Not
well,
surprising
right?
at all.
But he's only been there for 5 days. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you mentioned that. I mean, he led with that. He led with that, which I think was important. There's just certain guys over the years that are, I don't even know what adjective to use is better than this one, but they're just real guys. And when they speak up, you feel it. And everybody that was in that locker room felt it.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers loves Davante Adams. He's going to hype up anything that this guy does, but he is going out of his way saying that Davante gave a passionate speech, and Davante went out of his way to say, hey, I know I've only been here 5 days. That's where I'm concerned. How are the other guys in the locker room going to feel when this dude, who is a great player, potentially a Hall of Fame player, when this dude comes out of nowhere and starts yelling at everybody, starts getting on everybody's ass about what they need to be doing, they got to be thinking in the back of their mind, well, dude, you've only been here 5 days. Davante Adams was self-aware about that, and Aaron Rodgers still praised him and said it was the realest speech ever. This could be something that either turns the Jets season around, makes everybody pumped up and motivated, or this could really complete a nosedive where other guys are like, I don't know how I feel about this dude who's barely been here for 5 days talking trash on me and the team and getting on our ass. Before we get into Davante Adams reflecting on his speech, he talked about the fact that the media and everyone thought he was going to be the savior, and even that Donald Trump was in the building expecting big things from Davante Adams.
I'm not here to be the savior. Everybody was looking, the whole world. Trump was at the game. I don't know if that's because of me or not, but I mean, everybody's sitting here expecting it to be, me go out there and put up 200 yards and 3 tugs. But, that's a storybook ending to it, and obviously that would have been amazing if that happened, but I'm here to help shift this culture more than anything.
Who knows? Maybe Donald Trump has a Jets Davante Adams jersey, but I see what he's saying here, that it was unrealistic to expect them to go off in their debut, but it wasn't really just the fans and the media pushing this. I mean, these guys were very excited about playing with each other. They hyped it up themselves. They talked about the fact that Davante Adams already knows 95% of the playbook. Aaron Rodgers had Davante with him on the Pat McAfee show. It was all sunshine and daisies. These guys hyped this up themselves. So I think they got to take some responsibility for that. But Davante Adams, his main point is that he thinks the Jets team, and he's already a captain, already calling out players on the team, saying that they need to take responsibility for some of the energy on the sideline and in the locker room.
It's not really my personality to see something that's not right and to just let it go on, regardless of whether it's from the coaches, players, management, support staff, whoever. So obviously it was a lack of energy and urgency out there, and it was apparent, especially coming from, I've played on teams that have that winning culture, and I just took a moment to let them know, like, I had reservations about speaking up too early and being too vocal too early, but I felt like in my mind I said F that because I need to, we don't have time, and I got to do whatever I got to do to help this team move forward. And lacking energy, that's a prerequisite to be able to go out there and have a good year or have a good play or, whatever it is. So in my mind, it was something that I wouldn't have been able to sleep if I didn't speak up on it. And, I got a lot of good feedback, which it wasn't a big rah-rah thing. It was just more, to bring awareness to it, because a lot of these guys in here haven't been anywhere else where they've won and, have had that urgency that it takes in order to be a good team. So
Davante Adams admits that he was reluctant to speak early since he just joined the team, but he's already doing this kind of pumping out your chest type of energy, saying a lot of these guys on the New York Jets haven't had the success that I've had, like I did with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And I'm pretty sure Davante Adams is talking about that period of his career and not the period with the Las Vegas Raiders, which was completely unsuccessful. But he's going out there saying, hey, I know what the energy is supposed to be like. I know how it's supposed to be on the sideline and in the locker room because I've won with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They didn't win a Super Bowl. They always got knocked out in the playoffs, which, look, it's a tough thing to do. But he's basically fluffing his resume and saying, hey, you should listen to me because I've kind of had more success than you, other players on the New York Jets. Will they respond positively to that? The big moment that made Davante Adams feel like he had to address the Jets team, and like I'm saying, I think this could turn into a positive thing. You never know. That was when Breece Hall had that amazing play against the Pittsburgh Steelers that went for 60 yards, and Davante Adams was shocked that the rest of the team didn't seem to give a shit.
Breece, like I said, he breaks one down the field, play that wasn't designed to go to him, wasn't designed to get down there and check down, and we see him getting upfield, and it's like, cool. Guy got 60 yards, and we don't feel nothing from the sideline. Like, again, I'm not pissed off at the guys, but you just got to make them aware that that's not right.
That was sort of shocking. I'm not going to lie. This actually makes me curious about how this Jets team feels right now. Why were they not celebrating after that big gain? That was a moment in the game when the Jets were sort of up and it seemed like they were going to win that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers early in the first half. Obviously, everything went downhill in the second half, but to see that the Jets team really wasn't that motivated and pumped up in that moment, that means that there has been problems with this locker room entering this game. This has not been a chill team and locker room prior to the Davante Adams trade. Will this this completely change it, having this type of captain, this guy who maybe he relates more to some of the other players than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, like I said before, I like Aaron Rodgers. I like some of his ideas and theories. I'm sympathetic to a lot of his stuff there, but maybe he's not as relatable to the other players as somebody like Davante Adams. I could definitely imagine that. This is where Davante Adams starts to sound optimistic and talks about some of the positive things that the New York Jets have done and why he was so disappointed in the locker room for not really acknowledging that.
I just didn't feel like it was all the way there. And when you see some of the plays, like we were moving the ball, and it wasn't necessarily we came out flat, but the energy, like I don't care if it got to be fake. You got to, bring some juice. If I make a play, come and slap me on the helmet and show me that you appreciate the fact that I went and did what I did. And when you make a play, it could be 12 yards. G caught a little one-stepper on the outside and got back in early in the game, got back out. I'm running over there to dap him up, and it's not something fake, but it's just more to spread that type of energy and get everybody's mind into the game, because that all those things help.
Even though as a Raiders fan, I had to make my obligatory anti-Davante Adams video marinating in the fact that it was an absolute disaster in his debut, I still acknowledged in that video that the Jets made plays. Davante Adams, 3 catches for 30 yards. You could downplay that, but you could see some of the routes he was running and his connection with Aaron Rodgers, the amount of effort that he was playing with. I honestly think that's the most effort I've seen him play with since the 2022 season with Derek Carr. He really seemed like he cared, and I truly believe that this team is going to have success this year. They're going to be able to turn this around. I'm just wondering, is it too late? Is it too late to turn it around when you're already 2-5? They got an easy matchup this week. I want to see the New York Jets. I want to challenge the New York Jets. I'm sure they're challenging themselves, and I'm sure Jets fans want to see this. I want to see them whoop the Patriots' ass this week. They need to whoop the 1-6 Patriots' ass this week. The New England Patriots are going completely downhill. Gerard Mayo is not going to go down without a fight. You got other people on 985 Sports Hub in Boston saying that Gerard Mayo is potentially on the hot seat. This guy could be fired at any moment. We don't know if this is true, but once you start to hear those rumblings, usually that means that there's something out there. I mean, the Robert Saleh thing was a surprise, but we did hear rumblings before then. Could Gerard Mayo be the next head coach fired in the NFL? That's quite possible, and I think the New York Jets need to make a big statement win. They've had all these close L's lately. They need to really come out there and say, you know what? We are a dominant team. We could beat really weak teams and beat them completely to the ground. And you got now Hassan Riddick. Hassan Riddick is back finally. He is returned after getting a new agent, Drew Rosenhaus. I don't know how much this is going to help the Jets defense, but obviously if they went out of their way to trade for him, if they went out of their way, Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, to work this out with Hassan Riddick, they must think that he is going to be an asset. He's going to be a positive for their team. The Jets must have worked super hard to get Hassan Riddick back. I mean, the guy was in Tokyo, Japan when he was supposed to be at training camp in the summer. He had a little skirt, dressed like a samurai. It was a little sus, but he seems like he was having a great time, and I cannot wait for me to one day go to Tokyo. We will see if the Jets could turn this 2-5 season around, but it's going to be super hard, man. You got the freaking Patriots, easy week, but then you're going to go play the Houston Texans. That's not going to be easy at all. The Cardinals just beat the Chargers. I could see them beating the Jets. Colts could beat them. Seahawks could maybe beat them. I'd maybe say an L. Dolphins, Tua's back, but I still got the Jets getting the dub. This is going to be a tough road for these guys. Let me know in the comments below how you think they're going to do. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.